Welcome to Celebrate a Sister podcast. I'm your host, Emma Walkinshaw. I'm a transformational coach. I'm also the founder of Embody Me program and the creator of 21 Minutes of Morning Magic. You may also find me on the yoga mat leading yoga sessions and also running retreats here in Australia and internationally. Here on the podcast, I bring you some pretty incredible guests. We talk all things self-belief, body acceptance, personal development, outdated beauty standards, and we also call BS on the toxic diet culture, accepting the beautiful bodies we were born into, letting go of all the beliefs, and raising our self-awareness. I also come to you from time to time with a little solo episode, a little Life According to Emma moment. I'm so glad you're here. Enjoy. Are you ready to break free from the chains of diet culture and step into a life filled with confidence? I am so excited to introduce to you Body Love Bootcamp. This course designed to help you reject toxic beauty standards and embrace the powerful, confident woman that you are. Join the waitlist now to be the first to transform your relationship with your body. It's time to move from self-loathing to self-love. Sign up today. There is a link in the show notes and you'll be the first to hear once Body Love Bootcamp is out into the world, and it's coming very soon. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Celebrate a Sister. This week is a solo podcast. I am your host, Emma Walkinshaw. I am a body confidence coach. And I have just embraced this new title. I have called myself a transformational coach for many years now. And yes, that's what a lot of my work is, around working with women in transformation. However, my focus really is around body confidence, body acceptance, becoming more self-assured and becoming more confident in the gorgeous body we are, which I was reflecting. And today's episode is a personal reflection about my journey as a woman in a curvy body. And I have always been in a curvy body. And yes, I have done every diet known to man. I have tried many different exercise regimes, but ultimately, I know that my true path is really in self-acceptance and sitting in the joy of life, not in what I perceive that I'm missing or I'm not good enough. And upon reflection, I was thinking about, as I've been exploring my own standards. So my focus at the moment is all about raising my standards. It's all about looking at ways that I can increase my aspirations, that I can hold myself to a higher level, and I can strive for better for myself. And this is just in day-to-day tasks. So I had a little list. I started to go through a little list and started to reflect on where in life I have raised my standards and where in life I really strive to have quality. So the first one that I started to explore was relationships. And it had me thinking about past relationships and present. And when I say relationships, I'm thinking about romantic relationships and friendships, even working relationships. So holding ourselves to a higher standard in relationships. I remember in my early 20s, I was dating this guy and thinking about standards in relationships, what I'll accept and what I won't accept, and how self-assured and how confident was I in that time. And this guy that I was dating, I remember he casually said to me, we'd been dating around that 3-month mark, and the 3 months is kind of that make or break. You either go, this relationship's got a future or it hasn't. And we were kind of in this place where I wasn't kind of sure where it was going. We'd said that we were exclusive with each other. And anyway, he happened to casually mention this day, I'm keeping my options open. And for me in that moment, I went, oh, okay, this isn't great. And for a little bit there, I made it very meaning. It's maybe because, I'm a size 14, and maybe it's because I'm not pretty enough, and maybe it's because it's this, and maybe I'm not interesting enough, and started to go tell these stories. But I remember really clearly going home that night after being with him that day and him saying, I'm keeping my options open. And I thought, you know what? No, I am worth more than being with someone that is not willing to commit and is going to keep their options open. So I actually finished with him like that following week and said to him, I just don't think it's going anywhere, and let that relationship go. And then very soon after that, I started dating my gorgeous husband, and he, my boyfriend then to my husband, and we've now been together nearly 24 years. So I'm glad that I raised my standards and I did not enter into a relationship when a man clearly said to me he was keeping his options open. And I know that from time to time we will have people say things to us. And I love that saying, people don't tell you who they are. They show you who they are. So people often will say, I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person. But the old saying, actions speak louder than words. I was also thinking about somebody that I know, and she shared with me that when she was married, her husband said to her, I'm not as attracted to you now that you've put on weight. That marriage hasn't lasted. And she said she clearly remembered there being a massive fracture in the relationship when he verbalized that to her. So here we go in these relationships. I want you to reflect and think, where in my relationships could I raise my standards? Where am I accepting potentially someone putting their judgments on me that it says more about them, right? Then in friendships, I find it interesting in friendships too, where from time to time there will be a clickiness in friendship groups. And I made a decision many, many years ago. I like you because I like you. I don't have to be in the cool group. I don't have to be a cool cat. Not one bit interested. So thinking about your relationships, sometimes we need to raise our standards. We need to if we are getting with a group of friends that are talking about low vibe stuff, they're gossiping. For me, that's a massive no-no. And look, I'm not perfect. Every now and again, I have a little gossip. But mostly, if I'm hanging out with friends and they are gossiping, that is so boring to me. Oh my goodness, there is so much more amazing stuff to talk about and to explore. So where in your relationships could you raise your standards? That's the question here. Where are you putting up with potentially someone being judgmental, like the example I gave, I'm keeping my options open, or I'm not as attracted to you because you've put on weight, or even in friendships when you get together and there's just a big old goss fest and they're too busy talking about everybody else. So think about, where am I at with my relationships? The other area of life that I started to look at around raising my standards is very body focused, and it was around clothing. I don't know about you, but often I will go into a store and try on the clothes and they don't fit and I feel really down. And I think to myself, no, Emma, raise your standards. It is not you, it's the clothing. This is poor quality clothing. This clothing is not made for a curvier girl. And there are certain and you might have heard me say this before, when I had an interview with a fashion stylist, Sonia, and we were chatting about this and saying that, often it's like a bad relationship with some clothing stores. It's not you, it's them. It's poorly made clothing, and they're representing a certain size that it's not. And there's certain stores out there, my husband knows, when we walk past one store, I go, they are not curvy girl friendly. They don't like curvy girls. And it's not that they don't like curvy girls. They've got a marketing plan. I'm not their market. So when we go into these stores, we have to raise our standards and say, don't feel like I have to fit into this brand. This brand is just not made for curvier girls. And wearing beautiful clothes is such a great way to boost our confidence. Wouldn't you agree? So the other little area that I started to explore around raising my standards in my own life. That's my whole theme for this month is raise your standards. So I want you to start to think about your standards and where can you raise yours. So the next area I was thinking about my mindset, demanding more from myself around my mindset. So if I'm choosing things that bring me down, that's a choice that I'm making. So thinking about who can I spend time with, or how can I spend my time that actually shifts my mindset? For me, I love listening to a great book. So there's some awesome books I've been reading lately that has absolutely raised my mindset, shifted my mindset, and been really wholesome and had me thinking and stimulated me. So then when I do get with my girlfriends, I'm not talking about if her bum looks big in that. I'm actually talking about great books and having some really awesome conversations. So when it comes to your mindset, how can you raise your standard? At the moment, I have recently, I did a podcast actually about the diet-free revolution that definitely raised my standard around diet culture. It had me thinking. So where can you raise your standard in your mindset? Maybe too, I was also thinking, wouldn't it be nice to learn a language? That would raise my mindset standard. Maybe that's a goal for 2025, perhaps. The other thing that I was exploring around thinking about where can I strive to be better with myself, and it's definitely self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a work in progress for me. And the more self-acceptance I practice, the more self-assured I am, the more risks I'm willing to take, the more I'm wanting to show up and be visible and share my message. So self-acceptance, I have decided it is not tied to the size on my jeans or my dress. I am worthy because I was born. And to the woman who's listening to me right now, and she perhaps has measured her self-worth against her dress size or her bank account or the car she's driving or the house she lives in, no, you are worth it because you were born and you have got a voice and you have got something to share to this world and you are worth it. So that's what I wanted to share with you around self-acceptance. Self-acceptance leads to me being more self-assured. It's a beautiful thing. And sometimes there's hard days. And sometimes I'm not feeling so accepting of this body that I'm in as a curvy girl. However, they're the days that I bring in self-compassion. And that also feeds into the mindset piece. So on a day where self-compassion and self-acceptance, and I'm not feeling self-assured, leaning back into mindset and thinking to myself, what is really good to put into my mind right now or have a conversation with, because I've got the wobbles and we all get the wobbles from time to time. And then raising our standard around our nourishment. So nourishment, yes, is the mindset bit, nourishing ourselves through movement. And the other day, a quick little story, I was driving home and I was hungry. Like I knew that I was hungry. I had a busy day. I hadn't eaten a lot. And I was tempted to drive through a fast food restaurant. And my whole mantra this last week has been, Emma, raise your standard. And I thought to myself, if I drive through this fast food restaurant, I'm lowering my standards. This is not quality. This is not nourishment. Even though I was hungry, I thought if I go home, I don't have any food, but I have ingredients at home. And I know that I can fix myself something to eat when I get home. I then bypassed the fast food restaurant. So I raised my standard there. And yes, I had ingredients home, but that wasn't cutting it. I didn't want to prepare something at home, but I did pull into my little organic cafe that creates beautiful homemade meals. And that was kind of my takeaway, as opposed to coming home and preparing the ingredients that I had. But I raised my standard. I could have done the fast food drive-through, which would have been really not great, wouldn't have felt good after it. It is not nourishing. It's not wholesome. my organic cafe was a great way to raise my standard. So thinking through all of the things in your life that perhaps you are doing maybe in a mediocre way or accepting mediocre, where in life can you raise your standards? Relationships, nourishment, the people that you surround yourself with, the things that you intake, such as books, movies, courses. And when you have those days where the self-acceptance is a little bit shaky, really choose things that are going to make you feel good and raise your vibe. I also wanted to share with you, talking about mindset and nourishment and raising your vibe, the Body Love Bootcamp is a course that I have just written and filmed, and there is a wait list and you can join it. And it is all about really coming to a place where you say, I am actually am enough as I am. However, I haven't always had great standards for myself. So the Body Love Bootcamp definitely leans into having you look at where you're at now, where you want to go, and giving you some of those self-compassionate tools. So when you do get those days where you can't seem to shift your perception or perspective, Body Love Bootcamp, it has got some great little lessons and great little processes and tools that will help you shift from a place of self-criticism and being really mean to yourself to a place where you go, no, I am worthy and I am enough. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And my friend, I hope today you raise your standards and you know that you are worth all the goodness life has to offer. Have a great day. Namaste.